we will go classical mat. I'm excited. All right, black on black on black, the slim look today, right? We gotta do it right. We're gonna have our feet at the end, ladies, and we're gonna come all the way down. Actually, let's start sitting up for just a second. Let's start with our feet flat and our hands underneath our thighs, and just open up our spine just here for a moment. Take a deep breath in and kind of feel the sits bones really heavy. And then just exhaling and rounding the back, tucking the pelvis under, and just rolling back until the arms straighten. And then scooping the belly button wrap back in as we inhale and come right back up onto those sits bones. Just a couple, just like that. Tilting of that pelvis, it might be very small, or it might feel like you want to go back to arms long. It's really a choice, but kind of warming up the body, saying, hey, I want you to give me some work in here, please. And one more time, please, just rounding back. Exhaling the air out, pulling the abdominals in, kind of firing up that wall, and then bringing it back up, nice and tall. We'll take that towel into our hands and just holding onto it, or your ball, or whatever apparatus you like to use. You'll notice that some people in the class have different things, and that's okay. And then we'll lower ourselves down. Some have bands. Yeah, and we'll lower all the way down into the mat and just allow the spine to rest. Heels are going to be down and close. We're about hip distance apart. We're going to lift that towel or that band to the ceiling and then reach long behind us. Feel the open of the thoracic spine. And then exhale, we're going to bring it back up to our chest and just tap our thighs. So it's going to take a nice little arc here to the ceiling, lifting the shoulder blades up, reaching long behind you, stretching along, and then exhale, bringing it back and up. And I want you to be mindful of the rib cage today. So we're going to talk about that stacking of the body. The ribs are going to be soft. We're not pulling them in, but we're not letting them expand to the ceiling either. They're staying right where they need to be. And then arms back up to the ceiling and pause. Now pull that band or towel apart and lift the right toe and lift it into tabletop position. And then put it right back down into the mat without that towel moving. So feeling the shoulder blades engage into the mat and then lowering back down. Hips are steady, chest is wide open, and try to feel the shoulder blades coming together. Try to relax the neck just a little bit because I know there's tension being held there. And then lowering it back and down. And we'll draw the right one back up and pause here. We're going to extend it up to the ceiling, a straight leg, flex it, bring it to your band or your towel, get a stretch, and then bend the knee and put it back down into the mat. Trying to keep the pelvis neutral. Take the left heel off, find tabletop, extend the leg, just see what you can find. Flex it and pull it towards the towel, get that stretch. And then bend and press it back down into the mat. Good. Right one's coming into tabletop and won't pause there. We're going to activate those booties, bellies, and inner thighs. We're going to bring the other one to meet it. We're going to press into the center line of the body. We're going to lift up and look between our thighs, and we're going to start pumping here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Really hard to stabilize the pelvis here, but you notice the rocking happening, and trying to focus on drawing the glutes in toward you, into the mat, and yet the spine going longer. And then extending the legs out if we can to a working high level. Breath breathing in, pulling that band apart. And exhale. And one more to make it 50, which it may be 60, but that's okay. And then draw the knees in. Take that towel band behind you. So it's going to be underneath the legs now. We're going to find that tabletop again. Open the shoulders wide. We're going to lift the upper back, look between the thighs, and then pump the arms here. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. Beautiful. Finding the stability in the center line of the body, drawing the navel in. Head can be down if you're starting to feel it in the neck and the shoulders. If you're not, lift a little higher. Use the upper abdominals, come up a little bit more. Make sure there's a slight little lift in the chin. We're not right on the chest. You got it. Extend the legs. Last breath. Inhale and exhale. And draw the knees to chest and give it a hug. Woo! Little rock side to side. Thank the spine for that. And then we'll come all the way up to seated for a half roll down into a roll down. So our half roll down. I want half roll down. I want to take the towel or the band between my feet. So I'm going to connect it into the balls of my feet, and I'm going to dorsiflex my toes. So I'm going to find the long extension of the inner thighs here as we do the work. The heels are pressing down and into the mat, right? So we're going to sit up tall on our sits bones. We're going to rotate our femur in just slightly so we find a deep connection into the hips. We're going to lift up tall, ladies. We're going to hinge ourselves back, just to find right behind our sits bones. Then rotate the pelvis forward, come back to the sacrum, and then just pause right there. So we still should be looking at our towel. Our shoulders are back, we're relaxed. And then we come right back up, scoop the belly in, and round the spine forward, reaching out towards the toes. Stack that spine back up nice and tall like blocks, and then lengthen away. Hinge back. Then rotate the pelvis forward just to the sacrum and pause. Find that deeper connection by drawing the abdominals under the rib cage. Press into that towel, come up and reach over and find that stretch. Gosh, it's getting warm in here. And one more time. Nice lift of the spine. Hinging back behind those hips. Rotating that pelvis under. Find the sacrum. Pause. Is the chest closed? Open the chest up. Take that breath. And up and over, come forward and stretch. Now you can stay with that or go to the full roll down and roll up by taking your towel or your band into your hands this time. Now create that same resistance in the inner thigh. Stack the spine up. Pull the towel apart so you feel the shoulder blades go wide. Hinge yourself up and back. Rotate the pelvis to the sacrum and then pause here. Lengthening the spine as you come down. Keep your focus into that towel or into the band. All the way down into the floor. Arms overhead. Dig those heels down, arms come over. Focus into that towel. Keep rounding and scooping and come forward for a stretch over the thighs. Stack the spine back up nice and tall, and we go again. Hinge back. Exhale, rotate the pelvis, come back to the sacrum. Extend the spine all the way down. If the roll down feels good and the roll up does not, bring the knees to chest, lift your hips up, and rock yourself up to seated and come forward into the forward fold. So there's lots of options here. Stack up nice and tall. Let's do two more. I should feel really nice to find the spine. As you roll down, once you find your sacrum, pause. Lengthen and one more vertebrae. Lengthen and one more vertebrae. Lengthen and one more, all the way to the bottom. Press the heels down or draw knees into your chest. Lift your hips. Roll yourself up and stretch over. Last one, ladies, up nice and tall. Hinging ourselves back, rotating the pelvis under. Last time, everyone down to the bottom, all the way nice and long, and take that thoracic stretch overhead.